So, Sarah, tell me about how was school for you?
School was okay. I definitely struggled a little bit socially because I went to an all-girls school that was very competitive, education-wise. So there was a lot of pressure put on you doing really well at school. Um, and I didn't really enjoy that aspect, and I found it hard to make friends in that regard, just yeah, because of that. And it made me get really hung up over my grades, and really tied a lot of my worth to the grades I was receiving, and even getting a merit felt really bad, which it absolutely shouldn't, because it's a step above achieve. So you're putting in that extra mile there. Um, and I think yeah, the school probably could have controlled that a little bit better, and especially at the end of the year, they'd say this percentage of students got excellence endorsed, and well done everyone who's done that. And I don't think that should really be the main focus of the education system. I think yeah, it could have been a lot better. I was very self-motivated, and that might just be more of my personality trait, but I was able to do the work and get it done. I although in my last year of school, I did skip a lot of school, and I not because I had better things to do, but because I was just hating the environment. And I came back from a big climbing competition, and I'd had enough of school and didn't enjoy learning at school. So I'd just stay at home, and I'd call in sick and pretend I was my parents. And I would still study at home 6 hours a day. And I really enjoyed that a lot better, and I got much more done. But I'm also aware that that's not for everyone either, but it worked really well for me. And that was really good about my school, was that we had the freedom to do that. They were really tolerant of people not going to school because of mental health issues, or family reasons. They really, if you couldn't make it to school, that was actually okay. So that worked really well in my regard. Yeah.
You're really lucky on that score. It's the first time I've had anybody say that they've had that flexibility within their school system, to be able to support that learning from home. So that's really awesome.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was only year 13 that they just let us manage our own learning a lot. We had a lot of flexibility in certain classes, especially English. I really enjoyed English that year because we were given I think it was 8 different assessments we could choose from. And then you got to choose the ones that you were more interested in, and then you could choose any movies or books that interested you to study. And I enjoyed that a lot.
Right. So there you had the chance to really individualize what you were doing, individualizing your curriculum.
Yeah, definitely.
Totally awesome. When you were talking about that pressure that you felt on the grades, was that coming, and that affected you socially? Was that coming from the teachers or from the other students in the class? Where was that pressure coming from?
I think it was definitely a top-down thing, because we were a decile 10 school. My school was in a very wealthy area, so there was pressure from just the school's image, from parents, and then from other students as well. And it was just a really prestigious school that you go here and everyone knows education is good here. Whereas I don't think I would have had that pressure if I'd gone to a different school that didn't have the same image.
Yeah. And so the impact on that then was that the content of what you were getting was good, sounds like it was amazing, apart from the pressure that you felt on you.
Yep.
But socially it wasn't so good.
No, I found there was a lot less emphasis on sporting endeavours, and that was much more my focus. And I loved learning, but I didn't feel the school supported kind of minority sports. If you were doing rugby or touch rugby or rowing or netball, they really, channeled you down that pathway, and they were all for it. And but I my principal wasn't even aware how well I'd done in climbing until I think my mum actually sent them an email just updating the school. And they have no idea. And I think that could have been done a bit better too, was that education shouldn't be everything at school. It should be more of a well-rounded environment that helps people just explore all these different areas, because it's not all about getting your education. It should also be about building a good relationship with exercise, or learning about your nutrition and your mental health. And I also I didn't do any art in my last 3 years of school, just because I wasn't, again, supported in that sense, where I wasn't good enough in year 10 that the teachers would go, oh, wow, you should keep pursuing this. I was just, drawing some pretty rubbish drawings. But that was at my own pace. And I think that could have been nurtured more. And I think that was definitely something missing at that top end again in year 13 for some students, where there was all the pressure on for things like art, and it was just about getting it more perfect and up to a portfolio level. And I remember talking to some people, and they ended up just hating art, which absolutely is not what it should be about. You should not have the pressure on art like that. And it was just damaging that relationship with their creative side.
Interesting. So you've been out of school now for how many years, Sarah?
3 years now.
3 years now. And okay, so looking back on that experience that you had in school, what would you change? What could school have been like for you, or what would have made it better?
I think potentially going to a mixed school would have been a bit better for me. I think I would have found more of my crowd. I would have definitely done more art at school. I just took myself out of it very early on, and because I just didn't think I was good enough to keep trying it. And that was the same with dance. I wasn't good enough, so I stuck to the sciences, which I do still really love, and that's definitely where my educational passion is at. And I think if I had put less pressure on myself, it would have been a more enjoyable experience, but not sure how I would have done that at the time.
Yeah, it's always interesting, isn't it? Looking back and thinking, this was the good parts and this was the hard parts, but what could I change?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, sharing and hearing those things from you, Sarah, because it's through people hearing different experiences that we can make change. Yeah. So it's awesome. Thank you so much.
No worries.
Is there anything else, final thoughts that you're wanting to share, or something around what we're doing?
School's not everything is probably the main thing I would say. There's stuff beyond school, and it doesn't feel like that when you're at high school and you talk to people while you're at high school, or people who are in uni, and they say, oh, high school's a piece of piss. And it's actually not when you're there. It feels overwhelming and quite hard, but there is life beyond that, and high school won't always take you in that direction that you end up going in. So it's just more of a stepping stone to learn different skills and acquire tools to figure out what you want to do in life. Yeah.
Is there anything that would make school more relevant at the time rather than being just a stepping stone?
If school could nurture people's relationships with themselves a bit more, I think it would create better individuals. Things like, I think mental health, it wasn't a huge part of the curriculum when I was there. I know it's getting bigger, but I still think it's a really important area that everyone should be conscious of, and it should just be normal. It should just be a part of it, and people just should be able to talk about mental health a lot easier than we can. Nutrition, I think, is also a major area that I think is completely missed at school. I've only learned about my nutrition through climbing, and just the amount I know now, it's gobsmacking what I used to fuel myself with, and actually just how much my moods and my attitudes and even like your self-worth is affected by the food you put into your body. And I think a lot of people just don't realize that, especially with what's on offer on the shelves all the time. And I think it's learning about how we impact the environment is also a bigger thing I would have liked to learn about. And I think the school environment definitely nurtures people to have an understanding, but we need more passionate people in that area, and especially in today's climate, because who knows where we'll be heading if we don't fix this mess.
Yeah, you're so right. Cool. Thank you so much, Sarah, for talking with me and for letting me record you and so on and so forth. So go forth, have a great afternoon this afternoon, and all the best with your move to Christchurch.
Thank you.